Misumi Makoto, a typical high school student in the archery club, is summoned by the deity Tsukuyomi to another realm. Tsukuyomi reveals that Makoto's parents were from another planet and made a deal with the goddess of that realm to send one of their children as a hero. Before the goddess summons him, Tsukuyomi grants Makoto some of his strength. However, upon meeting the goddess, she despises his appearance and exiles him to her world's wasteland, hoping for his demise. Makoto survives the wasteland thanks to his newfound powerful physique. While wandering, he encounters an orc girl named Emma being attacked by a two-headed dog-like monster. Using his uncontrollable strength, Makoto unintentionally kills the creature, scaring Emma. He befriends her and learns that they are far from human villages, and Emma is heading to the Divine Mountain to sacrifice herself to the God Shen. In gratitude for Emma's help, Makoto accompanies her to a nearby camp and asks her to teach him magic. Emma imparts her basic knowledge of spells, but they discover Makoto's magical level is surprisingly low, registering only at 1. The next day, Makoto expresses his thanks to Shen and inadvertently destroys a structure while practicing a spell, attracting the attention of a large dragon. In the ensuing battle, Makoto wounds the dragon, but the creature traps him in a potent illusion. Inside the illusion, Makoto experiences a confession of love from a fellow archery club member, Hasegawa. Realizing it's an illusion, he breaks free, and Shen witnesses his memories, realizing he is not native to her world. Shen apologizes for the illusion and proposes a contract to explore Makoto's memories further. Makoto accepts the contract, leading to Shen transforming into a beautiful human woman in samurai attire. Shen explains that she adopted Makoto's human form because she finds him stronger and more intriguing. Makoto comes to the realization that Shen has a keen interest in his memories of past Japanese TV shows. Shen takes him through a misty door to an alternate dimension, flourishing with vegetation. She explains that this place was once empty, but transformed into what it is now after their contract was established. Excited about her newfound partnership with Makoto, Shen invites the orcs to join her on the demiplane, offering fertile land and a brighter future. Delighted, the orcs accept her generous offer. The following day, Shen teleports all the orcs to her demiplane and creates a clone of herself, a little Shen. She plans to construct a city exclusively for Makoto and the first inhabitants, with the goal of preserving his memories of his parents in this world. Makoto decides to dedicate his future to seeking more information. While assisting the orcs, he realizes his inability to use his abilities to heal himself. Shen arrives with a dwarf in her arms, catching Makoto off guard. Suddenly, a large black spider intrudes into the demiplane, proving invulnerable to Makoto's attacks. Enraged, Makoto unleashes a powerful spell on the spider, which renders him unconscious. The spider captures Makoto, expressing satisfaction with him. Shen intervenes, saving Makoto, and convinces the spider to establish a contract with him. Upon awakening, Makoto is astonished to find a beautiful black-haired girl standing by his bedside. Upon waking up, Makoto is surprised to find a lovely lady by his bedside, who addresses him as her master. She reveals that she was the spider who took human form after their contract was established. The dwarf introduces himself as a senior dwarf named Masuda and requests Makoto's permission to allow the dwarves to move into his demiplane, which Makoto agrees to. Shen and the spider ask Makoto to give them names. He names Shen as Tomoe and names the spider Mio. Later, Makoto meets the leader of the elder dwarfs, who expresses gratitude for their acceptance. He also meets the missing lizards and alki spiders, who were recruited by Tomo and Mio. In the course of searching for a human settlement, Makoto encounters a frightened girl who runs away upon seeing him. Eventually, he reaches a human settlement, but is attacked immediately without a chance to communicate. Tomo informs him that the humans mistake him for a demon lord due to his immense mana. Makoto realizes that he can't speak human language due to the goddess's influence. He spends days learning the language, becoming proficient in writing and reading but unable to speak. To communicate with humans, he resorts to using magic to write. The dwarfs craft a ring for Makoto, enabling him to suppress his mana. Together with Tomo and Mio, he visits the human village disguised as merchants. Makoto wears a mask to conceal his identity. At the Adventurers Guild, they register as adventurers, with Tomo at level 1,320 and Mio at level 1,500, making them the highest-leveled individuals in the guild. The third highest level belongs to a woman named Sophia Bulga, known for slaying a dragon named Lancer. That night, Makoto and Mio explore the city while Tomo watches over Makoto's carriage. As Makoto walks through the streets, a girl approaches them to talk. The girl tells Makoto that she needs his help. Makoto takes her to the inn as they leave a man to watch them from afar. Finally, the girl introduces herself as Renowned. She explains to Makoto that her sister is missing and that she needs help from them. On the other hand, some ruffians attack while fighting on Maui. She inadvertently kills them, leaving only one alive. Ranon draws a portrait of her sister. Makoto dispatches Mio as soon as he notices it, along with Tomoe, to look for her. The girl in the portrait looks very similar to a friend of Makoto's from the previous world. Mio and Tomoe track down the girl. After healing her while leaving, they meet the strongest adventurer in the city, Zetsuya Milzace. Makoto uses his skills to see Rinon talking to some men who order her to steal Makoto's money. On the other hand, Mio and Tomo defeat Milzace and his henchmen. However, they destroy a tree in the process and a large part of the city. Rinon is finally reunited with her sister Rinon, as well as her older sister Toa, who thanked Makoto for helping them. Angered by the destruction of the city, Makoto shoots Mio and Tomo out of the city using an arrow. After the city of Zetsuya is destroyed, Tomo uses her abilities to alter everyone's memories, making them believe that a monster horde was responsible for the devastation. Makoto, along with Mio, Tomo, Rinon, Toa, and a group of adventurers, departs for Tsuge City. Along the way, they encounter and easily defeat attacking monsters. Toa and the adventurers collect materials from the defeated creatures. Makoto, using his bow, takes down a group of rare monsters known as the Ruby Giants. In Tsuge City, Makoto registers once again at the Adventurers Guild and spots a quest on the board that requires ruby eyes. Before parting ways with the adventurers who accompanied him, Makoto invites them to dinner later that evening. Among the group are Louisa, an elf archer, Hazel, a human alchemist, Ranina, a dwarven holy knight, and Toa, the dark thief. During the meal, Toa asks Makoto if he wants to accept a mission from the Rembrandt Company to collect ruby eyes. However, she warns him about the company's poor reputation among adventurers. The next day, Makoto returns to his village, where Emma informs him that everything is already organized. The elk have moved to the mountains. The dwarves assist with repairs and crafting weapons. The lizards tend to the land and protect the village, and the orcs are constructing a castle for Makoto. After talking with Emma, Makoto meets with the dwarves who crafted his armor. Disliking the idea of armor as he sees himself as a merchant and not a warrior, Makoto finds an armor that appears like a cloak and absorbs his mana, which he likes. However, when he puts it on, the armor shatters under the weight of his immense power. The dwarf promises to make another one that can handle Makoto's strength. Heading to the Rembrandt Company, Makoto meets the owner, who dismisses any conversation with him. The owner of the Rembrandt Company, Patrick Rembrandt, is dismissive of Makoto until he sees the ruby eyes, and then he apologizes to Makoto. He reveals to Makoto that the ruby eyes are a material used to make an ambrosia to cure his wife and daughters who have been cursed. Makoto decides to go and register at the Merchants Guild. He passes the written exam easily since the exam questions are basic mathematics. The second exam is to collect 4 dangerous monster materials, but Makoto uses ruby eyes to complete the exam. Makoto returns to the demiplane, where he plans to create portals to trick traveling merchants into entering the demiplane, thinking it is a hidden city. He plans to trade the demiplane's items and create demand for the demiplane's products. Makoto is called by Tomo and finds that Mio likes children's cartoons. Sometime later, Makoto requests Hazal's help to make ambrosia for Patrick Rembrandt. On the other hand, some adventurers do not like Makoto working with Rembrandt and plan to attack him. Rembrandt's wife and daughters have turned into monsters because of the curse. Elsewhere, Rembrandt kills the man who put the curse on his family. Makoto and Hazal all arrived at the Rembrandt Company. Hazal manages to make ambrosia to cure Patrick's family. Makoto has to immobilize Rembrandt's wife and daughters in order to give them the ambrosia. Once they take the ambrosia, the curse immediately disappears, and they return to normal. Rembrandt thanks Makoto and Haz for helping him. After leaving Rembrandt's house, Makoto finds Tomo and Mio waiting for him. At that moment, they are attacked by a group of adventurers led by a man known as Lime Latte. Tomo fights them and defeats them all easily. Tomo sees the memories of Lime Latte and sees that he is not a bad guy since he helps orphans in an orphanage. After being defeated, Lime Latte explains to them that many adventurers fail to get jobs because of Rembrandt and end up dying in dangerous missions. Lime says that they thought that the curse that Rembrandt's family had was just a sleeping curse. After that, Lime Latte apologizes to Rembrandt and resigns as an adventurer. Tomoe meets Lime and offers him to work for her as a spy. She also gives a katana as a gift to Lime Latte. Patrick, Rembrandt, and his butler talk about how to deal with Makoto and his Kuzunoha store. Upon returning to the demiplane, Emma tells Makoto that there are some issues to deal with. The warriors of Makoto's city have not shown much improvement in their strength, and have instead lost confidence after training with Tomo, Mio, and Makoto. Tomo takes the initiative to organize a tournament where the strongest fighters from the high orcs and lizards face off. Despite the fight, Tomoe deems them still too weak and announces weekly tournaments between all the warriors of the demiplane races. Meanwhile, at the Adventurers Guild, the receptionist seeks Makoto's help, as Lime Latte, a strong adventurer, has retired, leaving Sihi City without powerful protectors. Makoto assigns Tomoe the task of training Toa's group to bolster their strength. However, Tomoe worries if Makoto plans to return to his previous world. In the following days, Tomoe subjects Toa's group to a grueling training regime, providing guidance through intense battles. After their training, she assigns them a mission to defeat 100 ape monsters to prove their mettle, and they successfully accomplish the task, impressing the people at the guild. On another front, Makoto dispatches Mio to search for ambrosia flowers to include in his store's inventory. Additionally, he decides to rent shop space from Rembrandt to avoid attracting the attention of the Sig Kingdom, which might request him to spy on Rembrandt, a task Makoto is unwilling to undertake. Rembrandt recommends a neutral city with no alliances to set up his store. The townspeople of Makoto's village throw a celebration to mark the opening of his store. Amidst the festivities, Makoto engages in conversations with the villagers. An alkai informs him about the protected ambrosia flowers in the nearby forest. While Tomoe and Mio chat, they sense Makoto's presence vanishing and rush to find him. They discover him practicing archery, and Tomo explains that when he intensely focuses, his presence seems to fade as if he were gone. She also reveals that his mana grows rapidly during archery practice and is already comparable to that of a god. During his stroll in Sig, a girl attempts to seduce Makoto, but Mio and Tomoe quickly intervene and whisk him away. In their room at the inn, they express their desire for intimacy with Makoto, but he escapes using the Mist Gate. The dwarves craft a new cloak for him, designed to absorb his mana. Makoto reconciles with Mio, assuring her that he doesn't want her to feel bad about the previous incident. He invites her to accompany him to negotiate with the protectors of the ambrosia flowers. In the forest, a group of adventurers, led by the blonde girl who tried to seduce him earlier, follows them. At the location where the ambrosia flowers thrive, they encounter two elven girls who are the guardians of the flowers. The adventurers have nefarious intentions to steal the flowers, prompting the elves to launch an attack against everyone involved. Makoto, with Tomoe's help, sends the adventurers to the demiplane. He also calms down Mio, who is angry because her date with him was ruined. Makoto then talks to the elven girls. They introduce themselves as Aqua and Eris. They take them to their village in the forest, where Makoto meets with the village chief, Nilgastori, and the elders. Nilgastori explains that they are not elves, they are forest ogres. Makoto gets to know Nilgastori's son, Adono. Adono explains that the village's barrier is weakening. Later, after speaking with the elders, Makoto is introduced to Mondo, the teacher of Aqua and Eris. Mondo holds Makoto's hand for a long time, which makes Mio angry, causing her to send Mondo flying with a strike. Makoto sends Mio to spy on Mondo and Adono. While she watches them, she realizes that Mondo is possessed by something, and that Adono is somehow connected with the demons. Later, during a party, a lich comes out of Mondo's body and attacks Adono, draining his life and killing him for associating with demons. The lich tries to attack Makoto, but Makoto is much stronger and defeats the lich easily. Makoto wants to talk to the lich, so he makes Tomo send the lich to the demiplane. Tomo explains to the ogres that she is Shen, the dragon who put up the barrier in the ogre village. Upon hearing this, the ogres kneel down before Tomoe. On the demiplane, Makoto talks to the lich, who explains that he became a lich looking for a way to become a grant, a human who can travel to other worlds. Hearing about the grants, Makoto remembers his parents. Tomo explains to the lich that he is wrong. Grants are people who travel to other worlds by coincidence or with the goddess's approval. The lich is depressed because he has wasted his life pursuing something almost completely impossible. Makoto decides to form a contract with the lich to learn magic from him. On the other hand, the adventurers, led by the blonde girl, decide to steal the treasures in Makoto City. The lich uses 10 rings filled with mana in order to establish a contract with Makoto. After the contract is established, the lich turns into a young and attractive man. A magical explosion occurs in the village, causing Tomoe to collapse. Makoto leaves Mio to take care of Tomoe while he and the lich go to investigate what happened in the village. Arriving at the village, Makoto and the lich use magic to heal the wounded. When Makoto arrives at the center of the explosion, he finds fragments of memories of the blonde girl. In the memories, she and her companions try to steal the village's vault. They are discovered by Al-Kukuto, Orc, and Tomoe's clone. While stopping the adventurers, one of the rings filled with mana explodes, killing them all except the blonde girl, who is saved by an item. She escapes through a mist gate. Makoto follows the blonde girl. He is really enraged at her, and after cutting off her arms, he kills her with his dagger. Makoto is very upset by what happened. The next day, everyone in the village organizes a funeral for the people who died in the explosion. Sometime later, Makoto gives the name Shiki to the lich. Makoto asks Tomoe why he was able to use her abilities to read memories at that time. Tomoe explains to him that it is because of the trust bond they have. Mio gets angry when she hears that and starts arguing with Tomoe. Makoto tells Emma that they are going to build a special area away from the village to receive humans because he doesn't want what happened with the blonde girl to happen again. Afterwards, Makoto goes to meet Patrick Rembrandt, who recommends Makoto put his store in the neutral Rotsgard Academy City. Makoto shows his face to Rembrandt, surprising him. Makoto decides to take a trip to Rotsgard Academy City with Shiki. Tomoe and Mio don't like that Makoto doesn't take them with him. To calm the girls down, Makoto gives them his memories as gifts. As they prepare to teleport, the goddess suddenly locates Makoto and tampers with his teleportation, sending him to a distant battlefield where 2 demon warriors attack him and sever 2 of his fingers. The man and woman, identifying themselves as Sophia Bulger, a human adventurer who turned to the side of demons, and Mitsurugi, a superior dragon known as Lancer, declare their intention to kill Makoto, believing him to be an emissary of the goddess. Despite Makoto's denials, they remain unconvinced. Sophia Bulger was once the most renowned adventurer until Tomo and Mio emerged, and Lancer was supposedly slain by Sophia. Makoto recalls hearing about them, but attempts to reason with them, to no avail. Frustrated, Makoto removes the ring, suppressing his power, and launches a fierce attack, overwhelming them. They retaliate, sending him hurtling from a great height. Using a powerful spell and his mana rings, Makoto creates a vast lake and escapes to the demiplane just in time. Sophia and Mitsurugi are left injured and vow revenge. Meanwhile, Patrick Rembrandt receives news of the battlefield destruction caused by a powerful wizard dressed in red, unaware that it is Makoto. Shiki speculates that the goddess must have intended Makoto to battle demons, leading to his summons to the battlefield. They consider the possibility of the goddess watching them. Additionally, Tomo reveals she has created another clone of herself using a discarded mana ring named Komoe, much to Mio's displeasure, who gets upset when Komoe calls Makoto Papa. Makoto finally opens his store, which proves to be an instant success. He learns of the significant losses on both sides caused by his spell, and he discovers that other heroes summoned by the goddess are also involved in the battle. The village on the demiplane celebrates the store's triumphant opening with a party. Feeling optimistic about his future in this world, Makoto believes it will be promising. However, the celebration is interrupted by yet another fight between Tomo and Mio, prompting Makoto to realize that his immediate future may be filled with challenges and annoyances.